What's up, people? In this video we are going to take a look at Patrik Baboumian. Patrik Baboumian, this guy right here. This is apparently the world's strongest vegan. He is a competitive strongman who's also a vegan. He appears in the vegan documentary The Game Changers, which I made a video about the other day. I haven't watched any of his videos here, but homie looks pretty strong, at least judging by his thumbnails, like 815-pound squat, you know, all this other crazy stuff that he's doing. So yeah, we're actually going to watch this video, Where Do You Get Your Protein? Because I'm kind of curious where he gets his protein. Yeah, because I just kind of want to know. So anyway, if you guys have any other recommendations for YouTubers or specific videos by YouTubers that you want me to watch, let me know in the comment section. And yeah, that's basically it. So let's watch this. He's got good taste in music.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the first edition of Where Do You Get Your Protein TV. I should say to the first English edition of Where Do You Get Your Protein TV, because I started the series 2 years ago with German videos, and then I realized that a lot of people from the community are not based in Germany actually, and did not understand the language. So I then decided to transfer the whole thing into English. So it took me 2 years, but now it's done, and I'm going to start a series right now in English language so everyone can understand what I'm talking about. So, okay, what we're basically going to do is I'm going to have short videos, and in every one of those videos I'm going to answer one specific question about vegan nutrition. And in today's video, I want to take the mother of all questions about vegan nutrition. Where do you get your protein? Okay, so this is basically the classic question, and it's also the title of the series because it is the most frequent question when you tell someone that you're vegan and they're like completely okay, so you're only eating grass, lettuce, and greens. So where do you get your protein? And that's pretty much the whole misconception that leads to the question actually, because when people hear that you are vegan, they think of green stuff. They think of like leaves and stuff and grass. So they think, okay, if you eat those kinds of foods the whole day, you get a lot of water because those foods are like 90% water, and you're taking big amounts of volume, but it should pretty much be impossible to get your protein. And that's a misconception because people forget that there are things like legumes or like cereals or nuts. So those kinds of foods are pretty rich in calories and also rich in protein. And if you eat a lot of those foods, it's absolutely no problem to get your calories and also to get enough protein to build muscle strength and so on. And that's pretty much what I do. So to get a little bit more specific, let's just name a few of those.
All right. No, the reason I'm watching this video is because I'm legitimately curious, like how you get enough protein to be a competitive strongman. Actually, what it really is, how do you get enough protein to build a body like this? Okay, I don't know how tall this guy is, but homie looks like he probably weighs, I don't know, pushing like 300, you know, for sure. Dude is large and in charge. So, I mean, is it possible to get this big from eating like legumes, which is probably the most, and nuts, I guess, which is like the two most calorie dense vegan foods? Maybe, I'm not really sure. But one thing that I want to talk about before we get into the video is that like strongman training, or really, okay, so strongman is kind of like powerlifting, but with less conventional lifts. like more, I guess, functional, I guess you could say. I don't know, maybe there's like a better definition of it somewhere, but like powerlifting is like you actually do deadlift and squat and bench press, but strongman would be like lifting an Atlas ball onto a platform, like this giant stone ball onto some platform, right? It's not like a normal lift, but it's like it's just like it, you know, you still need to be strong for it, but it's not a traditional like deadlift, right? It's not a strict movement. So I will say that like most of strength, right? People have a misconception about strength, that strength is directly related to the size of your muscles. And while that does play a part, that's what we would call like dumb muscle, okay? Bodybuilders, and this is not all bodybuilders, like a lot of bodybuilders are very strong, but a lot of bodybuilders, they just have kind of like dumb muscle. That's not, they're going to lose their strength if they stop working out. Okay, they're not like, as opposed to training your neurological system, your nervous system, to activate your nerves quickly enough and intensely enough to be able to move a lot of weight as fast as possible. Okay, so basically what I mean by that, I made another video about this, but if you take a power lifter or a strongman, somebody who, unlike a bodybuilder, normally will train at the very low end of the rep range, right? You'll do your 1 rep max. Like when I was doing powerlifting, I was hitting my 1 rep max at every workout, just because that's the style of training. Okay, I would do like, say I was doing deadlifts, right? I do like maybe 10, 12 sets of deadlift, and I would never do more than 5 reps, except for my warm-up, right? You do like 2 or 3 warm-up sets, because when you lift that much weight, you need to like warm your body up properly, as opposed to bodybuilding, which you can really just kind of jump into your first set of 10. My nose itches. So I was starting out 5 reps, and then like by my last set, my last like 3 or 4 sets, I was doing 1 rep, right? And what that's going to do is you're essentially training your body to lift as much weight as possible with 1 rep. And those changes are more long lasting than like your 10 reps or 12 reps or whatever it is. Okay, like when you train at the extremely low end of the rep range and the extremely high end of the rep range, for example, like a boxer, right? How many punches are you going to throw in a session? Like thousands probably, if you're doing it right. Okay, when you throw thousands of punches, regardless of the size of your muscles, you're going to punch a lot harder and be able to activate your nerves much faster than if you throw, 3 sets of 10 punches that are weighted like a bodybuilder will do. Okay, so like that's the point I want to make here. And then let's watch a little more. I'm talking too much.
Sources. So group number 1 is the legumes. So some examples for legumes would be lentils, peas, beans, chickpeas, soy, or peanuts. Peanuts are legumes. Then other protein sources that belong to the family of cereals would be wheat, or rye, or oats, or corn, and rice. And now comes something special, which I try to incorporate into my diet. What I try to do is always combine one source of one of those categories. So
I didn't know corn is a cereal. I thought corn was like a vegetable. Am I wrong on that? I believe that, I don't know. I have no idea, right? But like, isn't that a vegetable? Isn't soy also a vegetable? Like soybeans, edamame? Is that I guess that's a legume. Oh yeah, it's a legume. Corn though, I think, whatever. Anyway, okay, so let's just look at all these foods. Like, yes, you can eat these, I guess, and get a lot of protein, but you're also getting a lot of fiber, especially with the legumes. And, I guess like being a vegan is not so much about being healthy, right? It's really not. It's an ideological, it's like an ethical choice. Okay, you love animals, you don't want to hurt animals, you don't want to contribute to their suffering, so you choose instead to eat these things, which, as far as we know, are not sentient and do not experience pain in the traditional sense when they are killed and eaten. So that's why you want to do that. Now, from like a health point of view, like, is this a healthier way to do it? I'm going to say no, just because these foods are much less nutrient dense than animal products. They just have a lot less. Is it possible to like mix and match the right amounts of all of these things and get like exactly the right combination of nutrients from all of this stuff as it is from basically meat and liver and eggs? yes, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. But what are the odds that anybody is going to actually do that successfully? I'm going to say virtually non-existent. But again, that's not what this guy's saying. He's saying, like, where do you get your protein? So let's go on.
So if I eat a meal, I try to always combine one source of legumes, one protein source, and one protein source out of the cereals. Now, why am I doing this? The reason is the amino acids that are contained, that the sources contain, they're not perfectly balanced. So if you take a legume source, you don't have a perfectly balanced profile of amino acids to get your body all the building blocks that it needs to build strength of muscle. So, and the same thing applies to the family of cereals. But if you combine those two categories of sources, almost in every case, in every combination, you get a pretty good mix of amino acids, because amino acids that are leaking in the one source are contained in plenty amounts in the other source, and vice versa. So if you combine them, it's pretty much perfect. So that's
okay. So that's kind of like wisdom from the old school bodybuilding world, where they would say beans and rice is a complete protein, right? You'd have a lot of people like eating beans and rice with chicken, because the beans and rice, or instead of chicken, right? If you can't get your hands on chicken, because beans and rice, like he said, has certain amino acids in the beans and certain ones in the rice, that when you combine them, it will have a full amino acid profile, or the ones you need, I guess, more similar to animal protein. So like that's true. You can do it that way, but like again, going back to the whole like, is it better than just eating meat? I'm gonna say no.
That's what I do. And now, when I'm telling you this, it may sound a little bit complicated, but in fact, it isn't at all, because I'm speaking of combinations that you already know and that you might already eat. Stuff like bread with peanut butter. So you have the bread, which is probably from flour out of wheat, and you have the peanut butter, which is out of peanuts and out of legumes. So, or you have things like a rice dish with some beans, or you have corn with beans, or corn with peas. So if you think of some traditional foods, let's say from Mexico, or like a chili sin carne, yeah, you get a chili sin carne with the beans, and you also have probably some corn in it. So you already have that combination. Or if you take traditional foods from Asia or from India, in many cases you have legumes together with rice. So you have that combination. So it isn't that complicated actually. Just try it out, and you should be good. Okay, so
he's right. It's not that complicated. And again, I feel like I don't want to pick on him too much, because he's saying, where do you get your protein? He's not saying like, yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, you do get your protein from that, but let's take a look at the examples. Okay, so first, I mentioned the beans and rice already. The second one is the peanut butter and bread. Now this guy's German. So he's German, right? And in Germany, they have actual bread, like real bread, like the way people used to eat it, not your American white bread or wheat bread that's processed to shit and like comes in a colorful bag. Like that's not good. I mean, okay, you can eat it, but it's not good. You shouldn't be eating it. But in Germany, they have actual like good bread. Okay, but still, like, who's really even eating that? Probably not a lot of people, unless they live out in the country and they're like baking their own bread somehow, which is doubtful. Okay, is that a good thing to eat? Like, peanuts are very acidic. I don't know, like all this stuff, like, yeah, you can eat it and I guess you'll get enough protein, but all the other stuff that's involved with eating it is generally not very good. I think all these foods should be consumed in moderation. And also, I thought it was kind of funny how he said chili sin carne, because it's actually chili con carne if you're like have eaten Mexican food before, but because he's vegan, he says sin carne, which means like sin is without, con is with. Yeah.
In the legumes family, there is one specific case that I want to mention, because it is something that you may already eat a lot, and that I ate a lot when I transitioned into vegan from being vegetarian before, and that was soy. Soy is a legume, and soy is pretty much maybe the only legume, or one of the few legumes, that you even don't have to combine with other sources, because the amino acid profile of soy is pretty balanced already. So if you have protein sources that are made from soy, like tofu, or like texturated soy, or tempeh, which is actually a very good choice because soy also contains some problematic stuff that you can avoid if you process the soy via fermentation. That's what is done with tempeh. So tempeh is basically fermented soy. And
okay, so let's talk about soy. He's right, there is some stuff in there, I think, that mimics the effects of estrogen or binds to estrogen receptors. So basically your body thinks it's estrogen, which will make you have some negative effects. Like there was one extreme case where this like American guy, like he's like heard soy milk was healthy, and he was like, I think he was already fat and like not eating well, not exercising obviously, but like he basically drinks soy milk instead of water. So he was just drinking, I think he was drinking like 3 gallons a day, and he started getting gynecomastia, which is where you develop breast tissue as a man. And he stopped drinking it, and that went away. But that's like who's going to drink 3 gallons of soy milk? It's like, how could you even do that? It's like that's like work. So what he said about fermented soy, which is tempeh, and also natto, which is what they eat those in Japan, which is fermented soy, which somehow like destroys or changes it in some way so that your body doesn't think that. In general, fermented foods are good, and if you look at most cultures will have some sort of fermented food. Like Korea has kimchi, Germany has like sauerkraut, and like pickled, like they love pickling stuff in Germany. What else is there? Like pickled herring, I think, is also from Germany, or Poland maybe. Anyway, so fermented stuff is good, not just soy. Now, earlier in the last clip, he talked about how there's cultures like India, they'll mix the cereals with the legumes, right? In India, and I think the other one was Asia, how they'll mix. I don't know. Those are the 2 examples that he gave. Now, that might be true. However, Indian people are not, no offense to any Indians who are watching this, but like they're not super healthy people, and it's, and they worship cows, right? I'm not saying like, oh, they worship cows, they're so dumb, but they don't eat meat, right? And they're not healthy, right? They're generally like, all things being equal, obviously there's exceptions, blah blah blah, but it's generally like a physically like weak culture. Of course they have like problems and all this like overpopulation, and it's filthy, right, in the big cities, and it's just not, people are like, I've never been there, but I heard stories, people like, they walk, he's like walking down the street and people are like begging him for water, like in a city, like it's just, I don't know. And in Asia, like people are generally shorter. Is it genetic? Maybe. Or is it also possible because they don't eat a lot of meat and their growth is stunted because they don't have like a lot of nutrients growing up? You could make that argument. I don't know. But yeah. And
in that fermentation process, the problematic stuff gets reduced and all the good stuff remains in the product. So tempeh is a very good choice to get the best out of soy. And then of course soy milk, especially for me, being a real dairy freak before I transitioned into the vegan lifestyle. Soy milk was one of the foundations of my nutrition in the first months after transitioning, because I basically took out all the dairy stuff and I replaced it with soy milk. In that way, it wasn't really hard to transition because I had all the protein I had before using the dairy products, and also the soy milk gave me that feeling of drinking milk, still drinking milk. So that's it. Now you know a little bit about which protein sources I use. So if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, because in the next few weeks I'm going to release more of those videos. This was only the first one. In the next one we're going to speak about soy a little bit and see if all those scary, creepy stories you hear about soy are really true. All those stories about soy being actually an inhibitor of muscle growth and of protein digestion and all that stuff. We're going to speak a little bit about that and answer the question if you're going to kill yourself eating soy. But we're going to see that in the next edition. So subscribe to my channel if you like the video. And if you want to get more information, I wrote a book. It's called Rebellion. And it pretty much contains everything that I'm going to tell you in the next few weeks and months in those videos that are going to come, but in a compact way. So you have all that information. And what you already also have in the book is some recipes. So pretty much everything that I eat every day is contained in this book. And I'm going to put a link to my online shop, so you can get the book there if you want to order it. If not, just subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next 7 days when the next video comes up. See you.
Okay, so, don't hate the player, hate the game, right? Like, you can't hate on the guy for trying to make money and, improve his livelihood. And I guess, like, fitness professionals, let's say, the dream, like, okay, what makes a fitness professional? Like, what makes somebody decide to have a career in fitness? I'm going to tell you what it is right now. It's not what you think. People who exercise regularly, they hate everything in their life except exercise, right? They derive virtually no pleasure from anything other than being fit. Okay, like going to the gym, they just love it so much. They're like, fuck, I hate everything except working out. How can I make money from this? Okay. Now, so like, okay, homie wrote a book. He's got some recipes in there. He's got his YouTube channel. Like, I'm obviously trying to do the same thing. So like, how can I hate on him? Right? Very hypocritical. But like, what I've noticed with the vegan community is like, it seems like being vegan starts out as an ethical choice, but it also seems like a very good career move if you are trying to make it in the fitness industry. Because once you claim being a vegan and you do something that's uncommon to being a vegan, like being a strongman or power lifter or bodybuilder or like anything to do with fitness, you are automatically kind of given celebrity status. So this guy, has I don't want to say he has a part in a documentary, but he seems to be featured in this documentary. Like, I recognize his face. So is it because he went vegan? Probably not. They probably just like found him because he probably is the world's strongest vegan. And I think in that documentary, they're looking for people who are fit or athletic or something. So like, maybe it's a bit of a stretch in my opinion. But anyway, regarding like, where do you get your protein as a vegan? This stuff is like, he didn't say anything that was like, oh my God, wow, mind blowing. Like, where else are you going to get it? Like, you're going to get it from legumes. And he didn't mention nuts, interestingly enough. I don't know why he didn't mention that. I guess mainly because peanuts, which are legumes, are the highest protein of the nuts, even though it's not really a nut. But anyway, yeah, like nothing really mind-blowing. Like, if this guy's eating all of that stuff every day, it doesn't look like he's the pinnacle of physical condition either. But then again, he is a strongman, and you do need to be, I don't want to say as big as possible, but like a little bit of extra mass will help you in some of those lifts. Okay, so that was my video. Hopefully that was illuminating. Honestly, for me, it wasn't like anything I didn't already know before, so not the most titillating video for me, but hopefully maybe, I don't know, that helped you. If you guys have any other suggestions for YouTubers that you want me to take a look at or specific videos, leave me a comment and let me know. Peace.